A century ago, the flatlands of the North Texas frontier were tamed by the cowboy. Today, at the dawn of a new millennium, a different breed of rider will conquer these plains at the Texas Motor Speedway. This year, the NASCAR Grand National Series has been overtaken by a new set of frontiersmen. Mike McLaughlin leads the series, but by a mere 7 points. Dale Earnhardt Jr. driving like a legend in the making. Wisconsin's young Matt Kenseth won in Rockingham. 22-year-old Elliott Sadler won last week in Bristol. And Buckshot Jones is one of the circuit's most aggressive. Today, horsepower rules again in Texas.
In celebration of NASCAR's 50th anniversary, CBS Sports presents the Coca-Cola 300.
Fort Worth, Texas Motor Speedway. CBS Sports bringing you this big weekend of NASCAR racing from this new mile-and-a-half quad oval. 150,000 seats sold out for tomorrow. Big crowd here for Grand National Racing today. Pitting the new young stars, Sadler and Stewart, and the Buckeye Bullet Blaney against the Martins, the Jarretts, and the Jimmy Spencers in the Coca-Cola 300. For 300 miles, $800,000, they're about to go to war here in Texas. And a good day to you. Ken Squire along, and what a story we have here. Imagine this. It's the wild, wild west for all those fans today, but for all of these drivers and for the organizers of this race, it's anxiousness and anxiety. Why? Well, go back to yesterday. Qualifying postponed. Seepage, water coming up out of the track. 15 wrecks in 2 days. And with that kind of a start, everyone is concerned. Take a look at yesterday. Bobby Hillin out of control, turn one, slams the wall. It happened over and over again. To the naked eye, you can't see it, but that water is there, and the 3,400-pound cars bring it up out of the asphalt. And then to compound it, Kevin LePage blew an engine, or rather he blew a rear end, knocked all the oil and grease out of that car, 3 gallons of additional oil. He greased up that turn number 1, and that made it even worse. So this morning, they had to come back out and attempt to qualify. This was the scene yesterday afternoon when they called off Winston Cup qualifying.
It's just enough moisture that, I mean, if a tire hits it, it's gonna break loose. I mean, it's like since the sun went down, the track has cooled off, and that is what's making the moisture there. I think when it's hot enough, it keeps evaporating it. But just all that rain we had here in Texas.
All I know is it's coming up like a water faucet and it won't stop. It's just seeping. It's just enough that the last couple cars that ran, we noticed kind of a mist coming off their tires. And then NASCAR threw the flag, went down there to check it out, and found the problem.
There's not a 10-foot guys in the turn lane. It's shiny from some grease. But we're also seeing the water come through. What caused Lake or anybody else to lose it down there, I don't know. Was it because it's slick from grease? Like I said, you know, it's not running in water, it's not wet with water, but there is water there. It's not running water. Hey, it'd be easy to say, God, it's running like crazy. But it's not.
Only 9 cars attempted Winston Cup qualifying yesterday. This morning, one of the first cars out, Dick Trickle, into turn number 1. Out of control. Into the wall. Dick told me afterward it was not the track. He said that car was just loose. And when qualifying was over, for the second time in his career, Jeremy Mayfield found himself on the point, and Joe Nemechek will be alongside for the start of the Texas 500 tomorrow. The track is the story, and Dick Mergren has more on that.
Thanks, Ken. I'm in the first turn where most of the water and most of the problems occurred yesterday. Both appear to have dried up. Crews worked down here throughout the night. and they ran blowtorches over this area. Compressed air was forced into every possible crack, and they hope that gets rid of all the water. But just in case it doesn't, they brought asphalt cutters, and they cut these grooves into the speedway itself, which should run any water at all that seeps through down here to this area. Beneath this stone, there are French drains. This thing goes 30 inches deep down into the ground, and in this area, there's rock and pipe and pumps, and that ought to get it all out of here. As far as the grease and oil that LePage dumped here yesterday, no sign of it at all today. The first turn looks real good right now. We hope it stays that way. 16 wrecked cars in practice and qualifying is more than enough. Terrell Shaheen.
The word that best describes Elliott Sadler coming into this race here at Texas is momentum. A win at Bristol on the half mile and your 5th career pole coming into the race here at Texas. Elliott, this is a racetrack where everybody says you have to beat the track before you can beat your competition. How will you do that today?
Well, we're going to try to have good track position all day. We've got a done good, put this Phillips 66 Chevrolet on the front row. We got us a good pit stall, so we're just going to race the racetrack for 150 laps, and maybe the last 50 we'll try to duke it out. But we're here to run the whole 300 miles, try to get as many points as we can, and if we get lucky at the end, we'll see if we can make it 2 in a row.
Starting alongside Elliott is the man they call Front Row Joe, the winner of the Busch season opener at Daytona. He has 6 career Busch Grand National wins. 4 of them have come on speedways like we have here today at Texas. To the back end of the grid, and Bill Stevens.
Way in the back end. Randy LaJoie is the 2-time Busch champion, like to win his 3rd championship this year, but he's in on a past champions provisional. That means he's the very last car on the grid. Randy, not where you want to be today.
Well, it's a starting spot anyways, but it's too bad this Phoenix Chevrolet Monte Carlo's been in the top 10 all day in practice. Had a little trouble qualifying. Guy in front of me goes up and blows up, but that's the way our year's been going. I might need a new good luck charm. We've had some good luck in the past, and we're not having any kind of luck this year. So we got a really good race car, and we're going to the front. I'm going to pull these belts as tight as I can get them, hold my breath. I got to try to be patient, but I can be real aggressive too.
Well, they haven't won a race this year, haven't led a lap this year. He's going to go to the front in this race. He'll have to pass every car in the program, Ken.
The 300 today, a test tube for tomorrow's Texas 500. And to make the call, we have Ned Jarrett and Buddy Baker along with Mike Joy. Mike?
Thanks, Ken, and hello, everybody. Buddy Baker, what does it take to tame a new racetrack? You know, last year, Turn 4, the exit of Turn 4 was the trouble spot. The transition from the banking to the flat. They've changed that. They've addressed it. But they found some new trouble spots, too, enough to make $1 million worth of damage to these race cars in just 2 days.
Well, there's tricky transition from the straightaways into the corners, then off the corners. And down in Turn 4, you have a big dip down there that upsets the cars. And some of the drivers say it's very, very difficult to get around that portion of the racetrack. But you know what? Everywhere we go, they say, hey, I don't like Turn 4, I don't like Turn 1. They'll adjust to it, and they'll be great racing today.
In about 2.5 hours, one driver's going to like it just fine. Ned Jarrett, this comes in the midst of what may be the most competitive Busch Grand National season ever.
Really has been competitive so far, Mike. We've had 6 races up to this point, and there have been 6 different winners. And the points chase, just 64 points separate 1st and 5th in the point standing. See a lot of names up there that we haven't seen in the past, and that's good. These young drivers coming along, and only one driver, Mike McLaughlin, has won so far this year in that top 5.
8 drivers are within 100 points of the lead. Some of the faces we'll be watching today include McLaughlin, the former national modified champion and the current point leader in this series.
And Tony Stewart, who ran here last year in an IRL race, so that experience should help him here today. Look for him to be a contender.
And Mark Martin, the winningest driver in Busch Grand National history. But you know what? 98-0. He has not won yet.
Well, Matt Kenseth from Wisconsin's only led 1 lap all season. The last lap at Rockingham, he went to victory lane, and he's been on quite a roll since the season started in Daytona. Let's go trackside and get this underway.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the most famous words in all of motorsports. Here with the command to start engines, please welcome back our Grand Marshal for this afternoon's race, the area manager for Fort Worth Coca-Cola Enterprises, Mark Thompson.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Ladies and gentlemen, with those commands, we go by launching the Monte Carlo Chevrolet gold and white race car.
the field comes to life in front of a packed house. Stay with us and see if the Busch Grand National drivers can put a lasso around Texas Motor Speedway.
In celebration of NASCAR's 50th anniversary, CBS Sports coverage of the Coca-Cola 300 is sponsored by Coca-Cola. Always for the fans. Always Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of NASCAR. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by Lycos. Search the internet at topspeed at lycos.com.